So we're here, staying at Blair Castle. You probably already know that, judging by the amount of shorts I put out yesterday. I'm going to try and put this out today. If not, it'll be put out later, depending on the upload speeds here. But we've spent about a week here. Done some walks. I'm doing another walk today. Jane's gone off on a bike ride. Not overly a lot of photography. In fact, hardly any at all. Got to be in the right mood. I'll show you some things I quite like in this video. But they're personal things to me that you may not... You may not even like them, and it's much too late today. I'm never usually out this time of day. It's about 10 o'clock, it's 10:15. And I'm never normally out at this time of day. I'm usually out a lot earlier than this. And so the contrast changing, it's warming up, but the contrast changing. And I don't usually like to take photographs in this sort of light because it's just too harsh. But just sometimes you see a scene with a bit of dappled light and some trees and you just think, oh, I'll take it anyway. And I think that's very important in photography. Even though there are set rules, you don't have to follow the rules and you can break them anytime you like. The only problem with that is if you're breaking rules and doing things, you can't make it your own rules and just make it all up as you go along and try and convince other people it's a really good idea, because it just doesn't work. What you've got to do is just say, this is a snap or a photograph I enjoyed. Sounds mad. I think a lot of people understand what I'm talking about, but it's just personal, and if you want to shoot personal stuff, shoot personal stuff. And if you want to follow rules and take things for certain reasons and do competitions to please the judges, then do that as well. But I just like my walks, and sometimes when I'm walking, I don't really want to take photographs or do anything. I just want to enjoy the walk and let my brain relax and enjoy the day. The thing about photography is sometimes something just looks nice and you want to take a photograph of it. The composition might not be brilliant, the light not be perfect because the contrast is too much, getting a little bit too much now, but just sometimes you just want to take a photograph of a scene like that. And I think it's very, very personal, that. I just walked along here and just walked past these. I've just come back, but I think, and don't get me wrong, so I'm not very good at this sort of thing, but I think these are porcelain mushrooms growing, or just started growing here. Don't know enough about fungi. I know it's fungi season, so lots of people come up to Scotland, in fact all over the country, but quite a lot of Scotland, to collect different fungi. And it's also magic mushroom season as well, so people usually keep their magic mushroom spots secret to themselves, and I'm not going to tell you where they are up here, and you have to know what you're picking as well. But yes, it's fungi mushroom season, so lots of people out with nets I've walked past collecting mushrooms and fungi and all sorts of different types of fungi. I don't know enough about them. I wish I did, because I would collect them and eat them, but I collect blackberries in the summer. But as I say, I don't know enough to risk my life or my health by just picking what I think is a chicken's foot or a certain type of mushroom. I just noticed this huge great rock down here. Actually, I thought it was an erratic first of all, but it's not. It's just worn away by glacial water action years and years and years ago, and the water just flows past it now. But if you don't know what an erratic is a great big boulder that's been washed down in a glacial movement, if you want to call it that. So those great big rocks you see in the middle of a field that you wonder how got there, they're erratics. Plenty in Scotland, especially in these glens where the glaciers have washed down and washed the waters cut through over the years through all the granite. So I made this route today by using a combination of local guides, as in paper guides on the Atholl Estate, and then I mapped them out using OS maps, and I marked that all out on a route. I don't actually press follow because it kills battery, but I can see the route I made on my OS maps app, and I'm actually recording it today on Withings. I'm trying Withings. Withings keeps failing me and switching off. Don't really know why, so I have to keep checking it all day, and there's nothing worse than having to check to make sure that's amazing down there. That's absolutely amazing. The water's cut through, so it's dropping down there and turning on its side and going through, a bit like the Strid at Bolton. Yeah, so I'm trying out Withings again today, but we'll see how it goes. If it turns off, I'm not going to bother with it again. I'm just going to use Strava. Everyone uses things for different things. Komoot, Strava, Withings, or your Garmin or whatever. And sometimes they just switch off, or they just do weird stuff, and it's possibly Bluetooth disconnecting, I don't really know. But you want a reliable thing, and there's a lot of people gone for Apple Watches and stuff. I don't go for them because I like to keep them on at night. My Withings watch lasts about, I don't know, 30 days, or it used to. But it lasts at least 2 weeks, doing all the stuff I want it to do, whereas an Apple Watch, you have to charge it every night, which seems a bit strange to me. But anyway, OS Maps I use for plotting and planning. I haven't really used it for tracking myself. Maybe I should give it a go. Maybe it's more reliable than all the others. We shall see. This is rather lovely old footbridge. Jane and I walked across it yesterday, trying to take a route down that side, and realised you couldn't do it. You had to come underneath it. So we had to then work out how to do that, which is why maps are always handy. So that's why it always pays to have some form of map with you, because we were stood on top of that bridge trying to work it all out, and as you can see, there's a wall each side of this road, and there's a wall each side of the road down there that well, if you're young and 20 years old, you could probably jump over it, but it was easier just to work out on the map the way back to the car park and the route round to this road, which wasn't that far actually. So I just noticed this Christmas tree growing in the wall. It's come out of the wall and it's going up. It's the little tiny things you notice when you're out on a walk. It's a beautiful day to be out. As I've said many times before, it's not always about the photography. And one of the things I stopped doing is taking a camera with me and carrying a camera with me, because I was carrying a camera with me for miles and miles and miles and miles, extra weight in my backpack and hardly ever using it. So I decided to stop carrying a camera in my backpack, buy myself a really nice phone every year. And I know there's better phones than an iPhone, whatever it is, but if you carry a really, really good quality phone with you in your pocket, it's usually waterproof to a certain percentage. And it takes really good photographs or snaps, whatever you want to call them, of you every day. I notice more and more people, even photographers, using phones now when they go out for a walk, because there's photography and there's just going out and enjoying yourself and going. I'm out of breath, aren't I? Anyway, yes, carrying a phone is a lot easier than carrying a load of camera gear with you, even one camera. This one phone is so much lighter than even the lightest Fujifilm camera, so who knows, in the future it might even get lighter. Trouble is, it's got a huge great case on it. Just walked up a hill. One of the things I have got is on my YouTube is obviously there's likes and subscribes, and everyone goes on about that, and I never have. I've never been interested in it at all whatsoever. But I have got some members, and there's 4 members. And whatever the membership plan is, I can't remember, it's about $5 a month or something, and I appreciate those members because actually they make me do this, because it doesn't cost anything to do this, but I always remember the members and think I must go and make a video, or I must make some shorts, or I must do this and I must do that. So obviously the £5 a month helps, but it's been going on for, I think I've had members for several months now, and I've not even got to £60 with the adverts and everything else. So I haven't got a big enough channel to make any money, but it certainly helps. It buys a cup of coffee and it does all those sort of things, and you can do that through YouTube now anyway. And it's all appreciated, and I want to tell you all that. It's all really, really appreciated what you do for me. And it does make me, like, I'm just walking up a hill, I'm hot and sweaty, and I'm thinking, oh, shall I make another bit? And I will. But it's an absolutely glorious, beautiful day today. And I'm walking and I'm enjoying myself, and I want to share some of this stuff with you. I'll just show you around here. I just walked up and over that hill, and then I've got down to the bottom here, and I'm just about to turn left down here, and it's just bliss. There's no traffic, there's no people, there's nothing, and it's just how I like it. And then I'm on social media sharing it all with you guys, but I actually enjoy doing that, so I hope you enjoy what I do. So I always look at these, I'm just going to walk underneath and neat this, but I always look at these structures that I'm just about to walk underneath, and you'll see it in a second as I'm talking. There's another one of these bridges over a road. It's just a footbridge, and I very much doubt over its lifetime, in the past people used to use it, but Hardly anyone uses it these days. I've just walked underneath, you can see it up there. And I always think to myself, we don't do this sort of thing anymore. Everyone says there's no money, and I'm not going to get too much into politics, but bloody hell, these governments have millions and millions and millions of pounds off us as taxpayers. And what do they do with it? And I think we're convinced that the big rich people have got all the money. And yeah, they've got loads of money. Most of them have worked for it, some of them haven't. I'm not going to go into too far into the politics on that, but what are the governments doing with the money we give them? And where are they spending it? Because years and years and years ago, obviously when there wasn't a lot of money, we used to have all these bridges built. There's another bridge here. I'm walking across over this river. And you just think to yourself, hardly any of this is being done anymore. And the roads are all falling apart and everything's falling to bits. In Scotland, it's not too bad. England, it's bloody horrendous. But it just makes me wonder, and I'm going to share my thoughts with you as they happen, and that is, where does all the bloody money go? And why do they get in debt? Because if someone gave me some money in a budget, I'd stick to it. So there's a tree line piece here, and then right at the top on the hill, I don't know whether this will zoom in far enough, there's what's called a bit of a folly. It's called the whim. And I'll put a link to it underneath the video so you'll be able to find all about it. If you watch some of my videos, especially when I'm out and about, you notice I talk about trees a lot. And I just think they're amazing, especially the really, really old ones. I'll show you some of these around here. So, it's just magnificent, huge trees. And they're so important to us. And I think everyone says once the last tree is cut down and gone, then we'll be gone with it. And it's so true. But hundreds and hundreds of years these have been growing. And they look amazing. Just hope that they still here in a few hundred years' time. I think one thing the government does do is it looks after our land and our national parks and everything else, and I think that's so important to us in the UK. As I've always said, for mental health and everything else, get out, get outside. I said to a friend of mine once, one of the best things you can ever do is get a dog, because the dog will make you go out, and it really, really helped him. And I saw him post the other day, I'm not going to tell you who it is, but I saw him post the other day, and he was talking about how he gets out and how he loves trees, and I just thought it was really funny. Jane and I walked past here the other day, and I'll try and find the picture and put it in, and this field here was used for eventing or show jumping or something, and there was a load of jumps, and they've actually gone, and I was trying to work out as I was walking along why I can't see them, and have they gone, or what's changed, or am I in a different place? But yes, all the horse jumps have gone. Obviously the venting's over. Horse jumps are gone, all finished. And I'll try and add a photograph in here so you can see what I'm talking about. This is actually called Horseshoe Pond. You can't really see why it's called Horseshoe Pond from this video, but I'll try and drop a section of map in to show you why it's called Horseshoe Pond. Obviously man-made. Great for wildlife. Loads on here, ducks, moorhens, and all sorts of ducks. I don't even know what they are, as well as mallards. There's all sorts on there. Can't really see them from down this side. I'm not going to walk around the other side today, but very interesting. I actually wondered what it was on the map, even though it does say Horseshoe Pond on one of the guides. So very interesting when you get there and see what it is. I'll be checking him for ticks when we get back to the van. Yeah, so if one of the little hazards of walking in the countryside is, especially in Scotland, it's midges, which there don't appear to be a lot of around Speyside at the moment. And some areas of Scotland are horrendous, like the Isle of Skye, etc. And some are not too bad. There's ticks and there's all sorts of other things. And obviously some ticks carry Lyme disease, so you have to be a bit careful. We've been coming up to Scotland probably 20 years. Never had a tick. Jake's had loads. He has treatment to kill them straight away. And unbelievably, Jane hasn't had one until this holiday, and she had one on her leg. And all you have to do is keep an eye on it, see what happens, and if it turns into a bullseye rash or you start getting cold or flu symptoms soon afterwards, then you go to the doctors and you get a course of antibiotics. But better to know and treat straight away than it is to leave it. But ticks are a bit of a pain in the ass to get out. You have to have some tweezers to get them out, or special little tick twisters to get it out. And we managed to do that very easily because we've always been prepared, but it's the first one we've actually had. Ironically, we've carried the stuff to get them out for years, and we've pulled them out of other people, twisted and pulled them out of other people, but never had to use the stuff on ourselves until obviously this holiday. But it is worth checking yourself, especially if you've been in long grass and everything else. Basically, you just sit there waiting to attach themselves to deer, etc. And the worst ones are I think it's the black deer ticks, but I'd have to look that up. And usually I'm at a point about 3 miles in where my bloody hips are killing me. Not too sure, it feels muscular. Never really tell, but one of the things a lot of people don't understand about the walking thing is, yeah, your bloody hips are gonna kill you. Your back's gonna kill you, especially when you start getting older. Everything bloody hurts. When you wake up in the morning, everything hurts. The funny thing is, when you wake up in the morning and just get out and get walking, you go through little stages. Like at the moment now, my hips are killing me. I'm a bit knackered. I have a few drinks of water and I just carry on. Or like I've just had an apple or something. So it's important to get out. And yes, it is going to bloody hurt. And I've done 10 odd miles yesterday. This is about a 6 mile walk today, but I enjoy every minute of it, including the pain. I must be mad. There's only been a couple of times, once when Jane took me somewhere on one of my birthdays and it was just wind and rain and everything all day long, and I just said to her, I think I want to sit down like a little kid and want to carry, because I think it's time to have a carry now. And obviously she ain't going to carry 90 kilos, so I had to just get on with it. Jake's getting fed up waiting for me. He said it's hot and he could do with a drink, which I'll give him in a minute. But he gets fed up every time I do a little bit of video. I just noticed this tree here while I'm talking to you guys. Look, green, but just been touched by autumn. Obviously those parts of the tree have got just enough cold and frost to actually start changing the leaves, whereas most of the trees around us aren't really. A little bit over there, that one maybe. So it just goes to show we're September, autumn's on its way, and I won't mention the C word because it's just not a done thing, but it's not far away, is it? So while I'm walking along this track here, doing a bit of a circular walk, which I'll add into my members bit. Jane's down there in the distance, riding her bike all the way along there to a don't know, retail-ish outlet to look at all the stuff there. So she's not really a high maintenance kind of girl. She'll go and have a look and spend ages looking around and get nothing. So at least I know she ain't going to come back with hundreds of bags. Besides that, she's on her bike, so she can't. But it's up to her, it's her money, like. But we went there before and we couldn't get in. We've had the lead and everything else. We went there before and it was pouring with rain. And for some strange reason, they've got an undercar section for cars. Sorry, an undercover section for cars where you can leave your dog in the car, which I actually think is a brilliant idea. But one of the things they haven't got is anywhere to sit outside when you've got a dog. Undercover, loads of tables and chairs, so you couldn't even get a coffee and a cake and sit outside and eat it if you didn't go there in a car, which I think is a bit strange. And it's very strange for Scotland because most places up here are dog friendly, and I appreciate the fact that not everyone likes dogs, I get that. But somewhere outside to sit, have a coffee and a cake would be a really, really good idea. So Jane's gone back today without me and the dog to go and enjoy it. Probably without me moaning about the fact they don't have anywhere undercover to sit and have a cake. So we're just over 3 miles into this 6 mile walk, and there's a lovely load of trees here. Some of them having a little bit of a touch by autumn, some of them not quite yet. There's a few leaves on the ground starting. The only thing I'm sad that I'll miss is where I normally walk Jake every day of the week. By the time we get back, it'll be nearly October, so I won't have seen all those beautiful reds and all the different colours that you get in Otterspool when it starts to get to autumn, winter. Maybe it'll be a bit late, maybe it'll just be a little bit warm there and a little bit late, and I will get it when I get home, we can only hope. But walking through the seasons is one of my guilty pleasures, especially with him. Walking every day, I see every season and it changing. Autumn has got to be my favourite time. Much too late in the day now to start taking photographs, so I'm probably not going to get many photographs today. I've showed you one this morning, and if I do see any more on the rest of the trail I will take them and show you, but usually this is just the wrong time of day for me. I just realised I have come out quite late today because it's getting bloody hot and he's getting slower and slower, so I'll give him another drink in a second. And you want a drink, Jake? Not yet. We're about 4 miles in, just come up a hill, greeted by this, I presume it's a Scots pine, not 100% sure, but I think it is. Might even take a photograph of it for myself so I can do a pen and ink sketch of it later. I've stopped my art and drawing at the moment. I don't know why. I think I've had a lot of other stuff going on, and you have to be in the mood once you open up a piece of paper to start making marks on paper. You actually have to be in the mood to draw, and sometimes I am and sometimes I'm not. And the thing I won't do is throw all my art stuff away, because no doubt in a couple of months' time I'll be bored and I'll start doing some art at home. During this weather, etc., we're out quite a lot, but once the winter hits, no doubt I'll get a bit bored and decide to, another one there, do a little bit of art instead of photography. I don't know. I need to do you guys some street photography days out in town, and I will do that. I'll meet up with Barry or take Jane or something and go and explore Liverpool again. Well, the contrast's probably too much when I turn this camera around, but I've just walked along through the Blair Atholl Estate down there, or Atholl Estate, and up a hill now, working our way back round on this circular. But I'll just show you where we walked past, where the show jumping and everything was, or the event. So we've walked along the bottom there and then come up to the top, and I'll just zoom in. You can see where all the tents were and the marquees for the event. But I guess the truth of the matter is some people love all this and some people don't, and I fully understand that and get that. I live in the city. I live in Liverpool, have lived in London, Maidstone, loads of other places, lived all over Kent, Hawkhurst, lived in villages, lived in cities. I know all about village life and village mentality and city life, and sometimes Liverpool's a bit very village mentality in a big city. So I've lived in it all, I've experienced it all, and I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I've got friends from all extremes, really. And I like to have friends that have all different views, because it keeps me balanced. I'm Libra, so I'm balanced anyway, supposedly. But I like to have all different views in my friends so that I can listen to all their views, from socialism to whatever, and listen to all their views and see what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. But I love to be outside. It's my happy place in the countryside, and also I've sat in the middle of Paternoster Square in London and been totally relaxed and happy. 9 times out of 10 though, it's when I've been walking. So whenever I walk around the city or walk around the countryside, I just really enjoy it. Oh, it's a bit cooler in the woods. I've come out a little bit late today, which is very unusual for me. It's about 5 to 12 and it's bloody hot. I know it's supposed to be warm today. I didn't realise it was going to be this hot at this time of year, but obviously it is. I won't make that mistake tomorrow with him, because otherwise he gets overheated. I've just noticed up here, where am I? There you go. Can't quite get in on that, I don't think, but they're everywhere, absolutely everywhere. I keep walking past them and thinking, well, I'll bend down and show you, but I can't be asked. Luckily that was up in the air, so I actually bothered. Anyway, what do you like? Where do you like to go? What do you like to do? What part of the UK, if you live in the UK, do you like to visit, and why? Do you like cities? Do you like the countryside? Do you like walking? Do you like riding a bike? Do you just don't do any of that sort of stuff? You just drive from A to B? What do you do? And I understand some people can only drive from A to B because they've got disability needs, etc. hopefully in the future technology will take over and being able to get people anywhere they want to go with electric whatevers. Hopefully, especially if I can't walk one day, I bloody hope it will work for me. Some of you may actually know I broke my back in a hit and run. Car knocked me off a motorbike and I broke my back, and I spent a long time healing with my back and my arms and everything else, things that were broken, which has caused me problems to this day. And unfortunately, and I've probably mentioned this before, I've got a narrow spinal canal genetically, so if a disc bulge, it bloody hurts. But I always thought then when I was lying in hospital, I thought, I'm not going to let this define me when I couldn't walk. I'm going to just do the best I can. And at the time I had a workshop, and actually I didn't know I worked for Brands Hatch Performance, or no, Brands Hatch, Giant Motorcycles at Brands Hatch, and at the time. And I always thought, once I get my own workshop, I'm going to build myself a really, really fast wheelchair. And I think it's that mentality that gets you up and gets you out. Don't let a disability define you if you can get around it, and make something or get something to get you and to do the things you want to do. And don't get me wrong, I understand that some people can't, but you know, I think the Paralympics have proved what can be done and is possible. And years ago it never was because of the pain, and they're getting better with pain meds these days. I know some people get totally addicted to pain meds. I was talking to a friend of mine only a couple of days ago who works for a pharmacy company, and she got totally addicted to pain meds because she's got a lot of pain and then come off them, and now because the pain's come back she's going back on them again, and it's a funny old cycle. I think there needs to be a way medically of getting rid of those nerves that cause the pain instead of having to take all these drugs. But I guess the pharmaceutical companies love it. Completely different contrast in light from when I've got the camera on my face with the sun on my face to looking the other way. The contrast ridiculous this time of day. This time of year in Scotland, early morning, it is beautiful though, and I'll try and put something together during our trip away earlier in the morning. Unfortunately, we tend to get up late when we're on holiday. I get up at 6 o'clock-ish at home and then go for a walk. I'm usually out the door by 7:30. On holiday it's about 9 o'clock. I enjoy my lie-ins when I'm on holiday. Always makes me laugh when I see these log piles in the middle of Scotland, in the middle of nowhere. There's never a sign, but anywhere local to a park or anything else, there's always signs saying don't let your children play on log piles because they're dangerous. And they are dangerous, I guess, but as kids we've climbed on just about everything. What's it, ever 61 this year, is it? Well, I think we've climbed on just about everything. Climbed trees, climbed on log piles, climbed on everything, and we've never really thought about it. I guess these days people just sue someone if their kid falls off these things, but I think I've fallen off just about everything. I've even fallen through ice, nearly drowned, and I think it's all just one big learning curve. I always said to my kids when they were younger, it's all part of life's journey, all part of life's learning curve, and the more times you learn by falling over and hurting yourself, the more you learn not to fall over and hurt yourself, I guess. Maybe I'm wrong. This section goes back down to the Glen Gorge, down to the bottom, where the water's cut through, back to the granite. He's had enough because it's too hot. I don't blame him. And we're gonna get to the bottom of this track, turn right and start walking back. Done 10,000 steps just gone, so I thought I'd do a little quick video after 10,000 steps to show where we're going. Just noticed in the distance there as I was talking some markers for different routes, and they've been very well waymarked by Atholl Estates. This way, Jacob. They've been very well waymarked by Atholl Estates, and we're going this way. Down here. I thought this path would be more covered for him than it has been as well, and it hasn't. There's a lot of trees here, but the sun's quite high and quite hot. So I'll apologise to him later. Just remembered, I've been asked a couple of times what he is. Well, he's actually a lurcher, but he's Lurcher Labrador cross, so he's quite rare. There's not many of them. I've not even heard of many of them, but I know they're bred and I know what they're bred for. And obviously they're bred the Labrador side for calmness and the Lurcher side for hunting, which is fine if you're out and about, but if you're in a town, that's not much good. Jake, I got as a rescue at about 16 months old. It's taken a long, probably 18 months to nearly 2 years to get him to how I want him. And obviously I had my stroke at the time I got him, and just after I had my operation. And then I kept mixing up all my commands. So he's actually learned a hell of a lot over a short space of time. He is reactive. He's reactive to cats, sheep and stuff like that. So if I was anywhere near sheep or cats or anything like that, he would be on a lead permanently. And when I'm walking with him like this, I keep an eye on that type of behaviour. And when he looks, he will be looking for prey. And if I look with him, I can then see what he's looking at and then decide whether to put him on the lead or not. I can stop him if he's next to me. If he gets far enough away from me, I cannot stop him. So I have to watch for signs at all times. So I actually keep my eyes on him all the time. If I took my eye off him for 1 second, he'd be chasing a deer or chasing something he shouldn't be. And in Scotland, that's a no-no. So I've just noticed this lovely bridge down through here, and you probably can't see it. I don't know if you can see it through there. Probably not. But a lovely footbridge over the water. I don't think we're going over there. I'll have to check my map now. But it looks like it's built out of blocks of granite, all just piled on top of each other. Can't really see it. I'll have a look in a sec. Yeah, so there's the bridge. We're going down this side. So I'll see if I can see it from the other side. Can't really see it. I do not want to fall down. I do not want to fall down there, trust me. Even though it is beautiful. And there's the bridge, you can see it through the gap there. Not going to get much closer. It says be careful when you're walking here with dogs and kids, because there are steep sides, and there definitely are. Well, that stone bridge was quite difficult to look at and photograph. Steep banks, and then there wasn't really a good shot of it. But I really like this woodland, and I really like the fact that it's a really nice bridge. And I've come out obviously without Jane today, so I shall remap the way back here for tomorrow, and probably tomorrow. We're here for another couple of days, so possibly Saturday or Sunday I'll bring Jane back up here because it's quite cool in these woods. So Jake won't be bothered by that, and we'll come up and I'll show her the bridge. And sometimes you may not be able to get a great photograph of it, but you keep that photograph in your mind anyway. And then also when I can bring Jane up and show her it as well, that's in two people's minds. So obviously before cameras were invented and everything else, people drew and did art or drew those bridges, etc. in their mind's eye. But also they kept those memories alive inside their own heads. And that's the way to do it. If you're not into photography and you're not into art, etc., go and visit these places, have a look, and that memory stays alive in your own head. Just coming back down here to the village where we turn left. I think there's about a mile to go after this. Need to keep my eye on him as we get down here to the road. And here we are, back at the tree in the wall, walking back down the hill to the car park where I finished my route for the day. I'm probably a bit red-faced. It's an enjoyable walk, about 6.5 miles. Some interesting things for me. I didn't have much to photograph for you guys. It wasn't part of the plan anyway, really, but I saw a couple of things, so showed you. But it was just to take you out on a walk with me and the dog while I'm up in Scotland without Jane. Let me know what you think. Let me know below in the comments, obviously. And what did you think of the shorts yesterday? And I know they're shit, but anyway, let me know what you think of that. And I'll see you on the next video. I'll try and make another one while I'm up here. I'm not promising anything, but I'll see what I can do.